So there's a
How
story.
many more you got? Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yeah. So those examples, I mean, Mike Jones out of
Yeah.
Philadelphia. I met him. Mike was earning $500 a month on Social Security. He now earns over $35,000 a month, and he does a seminar called How to Earn Over $200,000 a Year with Your Eyes Closed. He's been blind since he was 10. Okay, so all of these examples of what we see, other people's lives, we can use that as a platform to
So whether it's
help
your
people
story
to
or
see
somebody else's story,
somebody
that's the
else's
example
story.
that you're giving.
Yes, and people say,
people say,
if
I
they
don't
can
have
do it,
success yet.
Yes.
They're just getting started. I haven't had success. I've been involved for 6 months. I haven't had success. But I can tell this other story, and I can say, that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Dexter Yeager, who was a beer truck driver, and now 50% of Amway volume comes through his organization. Dexter was just an everyday guy who decided that he wanted to live a different life for himself and for his family. And so when we look at people who are the great performers in multi-level marketing, here's what I know that they have in common too. Not only are they great storytellers, but there was a deciding moment, and that moment when they said virtually, I've had it. I've had it. That's when people change. I used to live next door to a lady named Miss Lillian, and Mr. Marvin, every Friday night he would get drunk and beat her. And I saw her years later and said, how's Mr. Marvin doing? She said, I left him. I said, why? She said, I'd had it. I'd had it with Marvin beating on me. That's when people leave jobs and they say, well, where are you going? Away from here. I've had it. You know, I was working on a job where they paid me just enough to keep me from quitting it. I worked just hard enough to keep from getting fired. So finally, I said, you know what? I've had it. Going where I'm celebrated rather than tolerated. I've had it living and playing small. Yeah. And so those kinds of examples and that kind of passion. People are not just looking for information. They're looking for personality and passion. They can get information on the internet. There are no secrets out here. You can just Google everything and find out what day the earth was made and the rock that broke Goliath's jaw. We can find everything right now. But personality and passion, that's what people want. That's what they buy into. Do you believe this? The difference between being in this business and this business being in you. That's what they feel. And the people that grow the large organizations, you can tell being in their presence that as much as they have chosen this, they were chosen for this kind of work. You've got to have a passion for people. You've got to believe in the product. You've got to believe in the industry. You've got to believe that you have it within yourself to become an entrepreneur, that it's possible that you can live your dream. That's why people say yes, that it's necessary, and that you are the driving force to make it happen, that it's you, that nobody can do it for you, nobody's going to care more about your dream than you, and that it's hard, that easy is not an option, that when you think about growing your organization, think it not strange that your family members and friends will say no. People who should be there to help you won't help you. In fact, they will discourage you. They will laugh at you. Oh, you're involved in some pyramid scheme. Here you go again. All of that's going to be a part of it. When you get on an airplane before they take off, they say fasten your seatbelt. Why? Because you're going to experience some turbulence before you reach a comfortable altitude. When you get involved in multi-level marketing, fasten your psychological seatbelts. Why? Because you're going to experience rejections and no and laughter and snickers from your family members and friends. Why? I don't know. That's just the way it is. It's possible you can live your dreams in spite of that. It's necessary for you to know that you're the one to make it happen, and that you become selective of people that you bring into the business. You don't want to convince people to do it, because person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. You want people who want more, not people who need more. And that it's you. You've got to be the driving force, and it's hard, and it's worth it. Decide now. Write down 5 reasons on why you won't give up. 5 reasons when you're facing the rejections and the no's, when people don't show up at the parties, when people don't keep their word. 5 reasons why you will stick in the game. I have a saying, when life knocks you down, trying to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Your reasons will help you get back up again. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. So it's possible you can build an incredible organization, make a great living for yourself. And it's necessary. If you're casual about your dream, as Bill Bailey said, you will end up a casualty. And it's you, and it's hard, and it's worth it. And once you create that momentum, it's done. Stick a fork in it. It's done.
So it's possible.
Yes.
The second one?
Yes, and the reason it's possible, What's possible for one is possible for all. If
Yeah.
anybody built an incredible organization, went across the stage and got a check because of their work and their effort, then it's possible that everybody seated there as witnesses can do it.
Right.
And that it's necessary.
It's necessary is number
Yeah,
two.
yeah. You got to have a game plan. You got to be willing to stick it out. You got to be willing to persist. Og Mandino said you've got to be willing to say, "I will persist until I succeed." And and the greatest salesman in the world. And you got to say to yourself your mantra: no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Because in the beginning things look real good,
Right.
and then you have a dry spell, and
Right.
then you start questioning yourself, and that's what over 85% of people do. And it's you. You got to take
Yeah.
personal responsibility. You're going from being a volunteer victim of letting somebody tell you what time to be to work, how long your lunch break will be, what time to get off, how many days you can be sick out of the year, how many days you can go on vacation, got to ask for permission. You're going from that position of powerlessness and being weak, because most people have developed an addiction to powerlessness. That's why the majority of people you ask to come into this business will say no. They have developed an addiction to powerlessness. When you work in somebody else's job, they are controlling your financial future. So you are different. You are not common. You are uncommon when you said yes to this dream.
Yeah, stop for a second. An addiction to powerlessness.
Yes.
I've never heard it said that way, and I think that's really interesting the way you say that, because we've been taught, we've been
groomed and
yeah.
taught to depend on a job, to look forward to a job. People looking for jobs in an economy where jobs are shrinking. We cannot produce enough jobs. The government cannot produce enough jobs to replace the jobs that are being eliminated through technology and cheap labor abroad. I can get a PhD in the Philippines for $500 a month. When I was a kid, I used to work in a bowling alley. They knocked the pins down, we jumped down, and we straightened the pins back up. Somebody invented a trade that put us out of business. I used to work on the elevator. What floor, please? And I would punch the elevator. No, they don't need that now. When I was in school, my girlfriend said, I want to be an operator. When you made a long distance call, you call an operator placed a call. Now you call direct. So technology's changing things, replacing whole industries. When the last time you went to the store and bought some envelopes and a stamp and some stationery and a pen to write a letter? We don't do that now. We text, we email. That's an industry that's eroding. I went to a school, Bill Gates School in Philadelphia. They don't have paper, all computer, a paperless school. That's different. When I was a kid, we carried books to school. So this is the era the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. What we have in multi-level marketing is cooperation and collaboration, people working together in a community of achievers to help everybody win. That's the exciting thing, that when I help you win, then I win also.
So back to story. Do you think story helps people realize that they have an addiction to helplessness? And,
Absolutely. You have to
build a bridge to get them away from that
Absolutely.
posture?
That's the purpose of the story, because what the story does is distract, dispute, and inspire. What you do, how people live their lives, is a result of the story they believe about themselves. If there are 500 people in an audience, there are 500 individual stories that's going on. So that's why it's important that we learn how to strategically create an experience with our story, so those 500 people will stop listening to their story. Through the course of your telling the story, they will back away from the possibility of blindness that say, I can't sell, or I can't do this, or I'm not ready to learn something different and new and change the page in my life. You cause them to back away from the possibility of blindness and inspire them to become, as Mother Teresa would say, to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in their lives, because you've distracted them from their story, and you used the example of a Pauline Ahi or a Mike Jones or a Dexter Yeager to help them say, whoa, if he can do it, I can do it, because what's possible for one is possible for all. And now they're ready to start a new chapter with their lives.
Can you tell I'm a fan? I get to sit here all day and we could just talk, because,
Yeah.
I mean, the way you talk is so... The average person wants to give facts. They want so much to prove to somebody else that they know something. So they're given facts and information. And through your stories and through the quotes that provide third-party validation,
Yes.
that lets them know it's not just your opinion. It's other smart people have had the same opinion in the past.
Yes.
It's so masterfully done, and I hope you're getting a lot of tips here. And I hope as as we're done with this interview, we're not done now, but when we're done with it, then you start to practice your story. And
That's
you
key.
start to, tell your story to your dog and tell your story to your
and
kids.
get some coaching, because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You have to, this Les Brown that you now see, I didn't know he existed. I used to be a different person, but a guy named Mike Williams, he interrupted the story in my head. He said, Les, you can do more than be a disc jockey. What do you mean? I'm LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing popper. There were none before me, there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single, love to mingle, certified, bonafide, duly qualified to bring you satisfaction, a whole lot of action. I had to kill him off. Bam, bam, bam. He said, Les, you can do more than be the MC at the Bottoms Up Club and the Pink Pussycat and the Jamaica Club. You can talk to corporations and organizations. I said, what would I talk to them about? I don't have any college training. He said, Les, all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. You can learn. Okay, and so because of how he communicated with me, he created a thirst. One of the things I say to people, particularly when you come into this business, if someone has recruited you into this business, they saw something in you. And one of the things I strongly believe, and why Mike is still my mentor to this day, Mike Williams, and that is that sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. So whoever invited you into this business, they saw something in you. And if you don't see it, it doesn't matter that you don't see it, because eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is in the heart of mankind what God has in store for you if you say yes to your dream and yes to the opportunity that the multi-level marketing industry can afford you.
Can afford you.
Yes.
I love it.